All right, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If you're here for the first time, I believe there's a lot more people who are going to possibly see this video, and a lot of that is thanks to Andrew Hiller. So I definitely want to start this out, and I have more of this coming up in a vlog that's going to come out this weekend. But I do want to start this out by saying thank you to him because of him, I have a lot more subscribers and my stuff is going to reach a lot more people, my content, and I really, really appreciate that. So I am super excited to be here today and get to talk to even more of you about the Last Chance Qualifier, which was a lot of fun, and it is over. Kind of. I don't think all the scores are verified just yet. So because they're not confirmed by CrossFit at this point, we could see some movement on the leaderboard still. I don't think any of this is set in stone, and there are some really close point spreads. So we could see some changes. But back to Andrew Hiller and what he did for me and sharing my account. It's been fantastic. A lot of his subscribers have come over here and checked out my stuff. And I want to say that he has some really awesome subscribers because they have been very, very supporting of me. And that is fantastic. And I think I can't say enough good things about what he did and also about his subscribers and how they've supported me. So that's super awesome. I appreciate everyone who's watching this and everyone who's here. If you want, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But I'm going to get into some of the Last Chance qualifiers and what happened this weekend and what the leaderboard looks like now. I do still believe this was a really good test. In my last live stream, I spoke a little bit about just how good these workouts are and how they're all real CrossFit. They're not single modality things. They're CrossFit, traditional CrossFit. And I think that's what we need to see in this Last Chance Qualifier, because all these athletes have been through the Open. They've been through the quarterfinals. They've been through their individual semifinal. So we've seen them tested there. We've seen them test that barbell complex. We've seen them do the other total in quarterfinals. We've seen all that stuff. And now we just need to find who are the best CrossFitters to make it to the CrossFit Games. So I think that just testing more true CrossFit this time in this semifinal or in this Last Chance Qualifier made a lot more sense. And I do think I like these workouts a little bit better than last year's Last Chance Qualifier. But I also think that's learning. I think we've learned a lot over the last year, and this is the second time we've had this Last Chance Qualifier. Although someone brought to my attention there may have been some Last Chance Qualifier back in 2009-10. This is the first time in this time of CrossFit. So I think that it's evolved and it's getting better, and I think that these workouts are really good, and I think that the athletes that did well here could do well at the CrossFit Games. So let me share my screen here so you could take a look a little bit at what the Last Chance Qualifier looks like. Sorry, I gotta lean over here to just share the screen real quick. Share screen. So you guys could take a look at all of this here. All right, there you go. Now you all can see it as well. So this is looking at the score sheet and the results of the Last Chance Qualifier. Now these are unofficial. I believe CrossFit has until next week, possibly Wednesday, to actually finalize this leaderboard. And on the women's side, between 2 and 3 and maybe even 4, the point spread isn't that far. So I'm not saying that I believe these people will get penalties, but the penalties could come anywhere down the leaderboard, and that can impact the top 2 spots. If Ariel Logan gets a penalty on one of these workouts, it comes in second. She has a 40-point buffer on second and a 44-point buffer on third. So I don't think she's going to fall out of it. But if she loses points, someone else gains points. It can just shift everything. So I think people should keep an eye on what this is going to look like over the next couple of days, because I think we could still see some shifting. Of Eric Oliver is here in the comments. Hi, Eric. He said that both daughters missed. Yes. I'm not super shocked by that. I thought Sarah had a chance, but I was kind of thinking of Sarah as if she's as healthy as she can be. I don't know if she rushed back from this injury, and I didn't think Katrin was going to qualify, although she's sitting in third. And like I said, with the leaderboard still being able to change, with this not being finalized yet, there is an off chance that Katrin does make it into this top 2. So I would hold off on saying both daughters didn't make it just yet. But where did Sarah Sigmund's daughter finish? Let's take a look at that, because she finished 12th, which, I mean, a lot of people, including myself, thought there was a chance that she could qualify. And she didn't even finish that last workout, although did very well on the clean and jerk and shuttle run workout, coming in second. That was her best workout, which I thought that would be her best workout. I thought she could win that one. And she obviously came very close to that. But that 19th place on the last event, and I mean, she was kind of out of it from the beginning, from the first day. But I think she's still not fully recovered from her injury. And I hope, what I really hope is that she doesn't switch coaches now, because I know she's kind of bounced around from coaching. She's only been at Training Think Tank since Wadapalooza. So she was at Wadapalooza, was staying in the States after that to try to qualify for the games, went to Alpharetta, Georgia, met with TTT and liked it and stayed. So she hasn't even been there a full year. I think she needs a full year, a full healthy year to work with Training Think Tank. And I think she could do well again. I mean, I hope she could do well again. It's sort of sad to see her career cut short by this. She was sort of the daughter in waiting. She was on the podium, never quite made it to that first place finish like Annie and Katrin, but was very competitive and sort of had her position to make it there. And she just didn't quite do it. And then she got injured, and she's bounced around from coaching, like I said, a lot. And I think she needs another year at Training Think Tank. I think she needs to stay there, stay with good competition. And I think that maybe that can really help elevate her and get her back into that top position. So I hope she stays. I don't know what she's going to do. She used to live in Iceland, so I don't know if she wants to stay in the States for this long, to stay at Training Think Tank. But I hope she does. I think she could really benefit from working with a coach like that for a long time. And to the point of neither daughter qualifying again, I think there could still be an off chance that Katrin gets in here. I think if Katrin's at home looking at this leaderboard, I think she needs to think about the fact that this might not be over just yet. Scores aren't finalized. 4 points is not a lot. She has the ability to make it into that top 2 still. Couple of deductions somewhere can really make a big difference. But I think we really need to talk about Ariel Lowen, because Ariel Lowen, I offhandedly mentioned her at the very end of my last live stream, just like, oh, maybe Ariel Lowen can do something. She did a lot. Ariel Lowen has 3 first place finishes. I mean, that's leaving no doubt. That's saying that you're coming to get this. And I am really surprised, but in a good way. I kind of thought Ariel Lowen could be a 1-year athlete. And I was watching another podcast, I think it was Savan, and I think Savan asked somebody if they think Ariel Lowen is a better athlete this year than last year. And I think that person was muted and didn't say anything. But if you're asking me if I think Ariel Lowen is a better athlete than last year, yes, 100%. Ariel Lowen went to the Granite Games last year for fun. She wasn't training as a games level athlete. She was taking the daily class. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she wasn't going at this like, I'm going to go to the CrossFit Games. She was showing up to the Granite Games last year for fun. She wanted the sign for her new house. That's what she wanted. And she won. So I think she was surprised that she did well at the games. I believe she came top 15 at the games. And I thought it could have been a one-off. She didn't qualify out of, I believe she went to Syndicate Crown, but she didn't qualify out of that. And I think she said that she just kind of took it for granted. She thought she would do well again like the year before. And then she came into this hungry and she left no doubt. 3 firsts is no doubt. This was a difficult field and she came in and dominated. I did just see her workout 1. Her bar muscle ups looked great. It's crazy how strong and how good these athletes are now. So I think Ariel Logan did really well. I think she's someone to look out for. And I mentioned that I think she's a better athlete than last year. That's also because I think she's putting in more time. She is training more like a games athlete. I think she still does the daily class, but I think she does extra stuff now. And she has the mentality of I can go to the CrossFit Games, and I hung out with those girls last year. She hung well. She was well within the top half. So I guarantee that she is a better athlete this year than last year. And I think that showed this weekend in this field. Elena out of Spain, I don't know as much about her. I believe she just won the French Throwdown last week, which is insane that she won the French Throwdown and somehow she was able to recover enough to do well in this competition. I haven't seen any of her videos yet. I would love to, not because I don't believe she's a elite athlete. She finished second in Spain a couple years, I believe. She did well enough at her semifinal to be in this field. So obviously she's a very, very good athlete. I would just like to see a little bit more of her doing these workouts. And I hope that'll come out soon. I do know CrossFit has posted a couple more videos recently in the last couple of hours of some workouts. And I think they should really post pretty much all of the workouts from the qualifying athletes. I think that everyone wants to see it, and I think we should be able to see it. These are the athletes going to the CrossFit Games. We were able to watch all the other athletes from the CrossFit Games at their semifinals. We were able to see them with our eyes and know what they look like and know how they compete. And I think that we should get to do that here as well. I want to see these workouts from all these athletes. But like I said, Elena is only 4 points clear of Katrin. And I think things could shake up a little bit. No guarantees. And I don't think anyone should feel comfortable right now, because until CrossFit goes to this leaderboard with a fine-tooth comb, things can change. So at this point, I would definitely, if I was these athletes, feel a little relief, but still be waiting, because there could be some changes throughout this. Also, I did watch Ariel Lowen's 6th place workout here, and I was very impressed by her row. She's not the tallest athlete, and she was holding 150 probably about the whole time. She wavered between 145 to like 153, but very impressive row from her. 6th place finish is not bad, but the 3 firsts are better. And I think they put out Katrin's 1st place workout in that same workout too. And that's exactly where I thought she was going to finish in workout 2. That was the row and handstand walk. So I think there's still some hope for Katrin if there's some deductions throughout the entire leaderboard. So we shall see. It also looks like every woman on this side of the leaderboard, the women, finished the entire event. And I think that's really important. On the men's side, you're going to see that some of these men didn't complete the weekend for one reason or another. But I think that impacts everybody. That impacts the 3rd place person, because that person that didn't finish the event could have came between them in some of the events. And I just think it's unfortunate to see that. I think it's better to stay throughout the entire competition. I think that's just most fair. And I think it could really impact everyone. So, but we'll move over to the men, and you'll be able to see a little bit of what I'm talking about there. Some of these bottom men at the bottom of this leaderboard. You see some of these empty scores on the 2nd day. That impacts everybody, in my opinion. So some of the people that didn't quite make it, if these people were to sneak in some of those scores, if they had a good workout, could have made a difference. But regardless, we have Tim Paulson, who I briefly mentioned in my previous live stream. I will also stop and say real quick, I was totally wrong about who was going to qualify. I got 25% right. That's a failing grade. I just got Yonakoski, who did qualify. You can see it on the screen right now. And he was in 2nd place all weekend. So he was never in any sort of danger, really. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you can't see the other people working out next to you, so you don't really know where you sit. But Yonakoski was the person I was most confident about making it through the Last Chance Qualifier, and he did make it through the Last Chance Qualifier. So I like that call. I feel good about that call, and I'm happy I got one right. But my women all totally wrong, and my second man was wrong. But Timothy Paulson, I actually thought he had a pretty good chance of qualifying at the Granite Games and was kind of surprised when he didn't. And I like that he did so well at this Last Chance Qualifier because I think that he's a really good athlete. And I like that he didn't get discouraged by workout one, because this 14th place finish of workout one, I believe, is the worst finish of anyone qualifying this year through the Last Chance Qualifier. And with that being your first workout, it's easy to take that and be like, just down on yourself, just unsure if you're able to do this and unsure if you're able to come back from it. And he kept his head in the game. And then he had a second, and a first. Those are fantastic finishes. This was a challenging field. And he did awesome. And I heard him talk a little bit today about feeling good about those last two workouts and refreshing the leaderboard. But he was a little bit surprised that he won, that he made up that much room. And he did great. And I watched some of his workouts. He posted some of his workouts on his own, not through CrossFit. I think that says a lot about an athlete. Just feel like I have good reps and I can post this. So if you want to see some of Timothy Paulson's workouts, you can go to his YouTube channel. I believe he's posted one already. That's workout 2. And I think he plans to post all of them over the coming days. So if you want to see some of these Last Chance Qualifier workouts and see what Tim Paulson looks like going into CrossFit Games, I suggest going over there. But really good job from Tim Paulson. Excited to see him in Madison. I will be at the CrossFit Games. I hope to have some content there, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I'm really excited to see how he does at the games. Excited to see him back. I believe this is his 6th time at the CrossFit Games. Really impressive stuff. Yonakoski, I was honestly a little surprised he didn't do well at his semifinal, Lowlands. I think I mentioned this in my last live stream, but I believe he was fighting an illness, and that can make a big difference. Athletes at this level, I'm sure they want to just be able to push through that, but I'm sure that impacted him. And this weekend, he got a 4th, 8th, 5th. Very consistent, arguably a little bit more consistent than Paulson with that 14th place finish. Just a good athlete all around, and showed that. What I was talking about earlier with some people not submitting scores at the bottom, Jake Berman, only 8 points out. That's not that many points. And he's been knocking on the door for a while. He's come close a couple of times. And to have people not submit scores, that can be the difference between you going to the games and not. So I just think that more people should try to finish if they can. I understand that there were possibly some injuries, or people just feel like they had no chance of qualifying, so they felt like there was no reason to do day 2. But it impacts the entire leaderboard, and that's unfortunate. But so Jake Berman, only 8 points out. Nick Matthew, he is substantially farther out, so like doesn't really impact him that much. But these top 3, they're close. They're close at a couple seconds. One score could make a big difference. So when you scroll down here and you have Matt DeLugos, who's a tall athlete, might have been able to do really well on those wall balls. He had a 5th place finish. Like, he could have made a difference in the top of that leaderboard and maybe changed who those top 3 are. I think he had an injury, and that's why he pulled out. So I understand that, and I understand that he probably was going to qualify for the game, so it wasn't worth him pushing through that. But I just think it impacts the whole leaderboard, and I wonder what the leaderboard would look like if all of these people submitted their scores. Augustin here, I believe, decided to pull out of the games, pull out of the Last Chance Qualifier after he got a bunch of no reps on that first workout. I'm sure some of you have heard about that. CrossFit said that based on his video and multiple angles, they looked at multiple angles, that his hip crease was not getting below his knee, so the reps did not count. I've seen the video and I see that it definitely is very borderline. I would like to know exactly how they calculated the 16 reps specifically. I just think that's nice for transparency. I think CrossFit, to build trust, has to continue to be as transparent as possible. And I do believe they're going to put out some more explanation about why some of the people are going to receive penalties. I don't know how many penalties there's going to be because, like I said, this leaderboard is not final. There could be many more penalties to come. And I hope CrossFit is as clear as they can be with why each penalty was given. So it would be nice to see why Augustin got 16 reps removed versus 5 reps or versus 10 or all of them. I just would like to know exactly what their thought process is behind that. I just think that's most fair. And I think it really helps build trust in the community when they see that and they see CrossFit as being as transparent as humanly possible. I think there's a lot of people out there that want to see that, and they have time to do that. This leaderboard isn't finalized. They could put out something that explains exactly why every person gets the deduction that they get. And also, like I pointed out, on the women's side, just 4 points separate second and third. Here, it's just 8. So we could see if there's enough deductions, some changes here. And who knows what things will look like after that. So if there is some major changes, I think they definitely have to be as transparent as possible with explaining why we're seeing those changes. But to wrap this up, I do want to say again, I think this was a really good test. I liked all of the workouts, and I think that they were really good workouts. You can see this is the workouts here. We had this quick workout at the very beginning, just 4 minutes of work time with the thrusters and the bar muscle ups. I will say I did think that people were going to get more reps on this workout than they did. I thought that the women too might do better than the men on this workout because the barbell was a little bit lighter for them percentage wise. Usually 185, you see 135 for the women, not 125. So the women might just like blow the men's scores out of the water, but the best scores were from the men's side. So anyone who was complaining about that lighter barbell for the women really doesn't have any reason to complain. Obviously, Adrian Bosman, who I believe programmed all these workouts, had tested them correctly and had gotten the right results. And I think that this was a really good test. I'm really impressed with Adrian Bosman's workouts and how they played out and what athletes were getting to the games. I think they're all really impressive athletes. And I think they're all athletes that deserve to be there so far. I do, as I said, want to see a little bit more from Elena because I just don't know her as well. But like I said, she won the French throwdown. And the French throwdown is a pretty challenging competition. So good for her. Eric Oliver with another question. Let me pop that up on the screen so we can all see that. Do you think any of these last chance qualifiers will be in top 10 at the games? I think there could be. I think Ariel Logan, like I mentioned, did really, really, really well here. And she has been training this year more like a games athlete than ever before. Last year, she just kind of didn't expect to be there and ended up there. This year, she expected to be playing with the big dogs and has been training towards that. And she said she's been taking her training really seriously this last couple of weeks. So I do think that Ariel Lowen, who was top 15 last year, could possibly break into that top 10. I also think Jonakowski has had some really good years at the games. I think he's finished 9th, possibly. Maybe I could pull that up. But Jonakowski has done well before. And I think that a healthy Jonakowski, he's also had some issues with injuries and things like that. But I think a healthy Jonakowski could be a top 10 finisher at the games. Okay. He has a 6th, 7th, a 9th, and a 9th. He has a 40th, but I am sure that's because he pulled out of the games that year. So I believe Jonakowski could finish top 10 at the games for sure. So if I had to pick one athlete, I think I would probably go with Jonakowski. Ariel Lowen could make a good jump. Last year, we saw a top last chance qualifier athlete make it into the top 10 of the games. That was Christiane O'Connell. So we know that the last chance qualifier has and can produce athletes that make it into the top 10 of the games. So I do think that there's a chance that some of these athletes can make it into the top 10 at the games. That was a good question, though. I appreciate that. So overall, though, I think this was a really good test. We were just looking at some of the workouts. I haven't seen a lot of day 2 video yet. I hope to see some of that in the future. I saw some of this 2,000 meter row. There are people, it's pretty impressive to see how quickly they can row and then get off and just keep walking for the next minute and a half. I saw Tim Paulson's workout and I was impressed. He got like 205 feet. That's a good score. But actually, that reminds me of something. Royce Dunn. I was surprised to see Royce Dunn do so poorly this second day. He was sitting in first after the first day, and I thought these workouts were really, really good for Royce. I thought he had a great chance of qualifying through the Last Chance Qualifier once I saw the workouts. And day one proved to be exactly that. Royce Dunn did extremely well at day one of the Last Chance Qualifier. Day two, when I looked at Leaderboard once the scores were in, I was shocked. 12th and an 18th. I mean, he's a taller, bigger guy. I know that could impact the burpee box jump over, but I thought he'd be able to get those wall balls and cycle them quickly because he's so much closer in that reach. I was wrong. I was definitely wrong there. I thought Royce Dunn had a legitimate chance of qualifying, and he finished 8th. I hope he comes back next year. He seems like he wants to do that, wants to give it another go. He's 31, so he's a little bit on the older side, although we have lots of athletes competing into their early and even mid 30s. So he still has plenty of time. But yeah, he was, I heard him speak after he found out, just like minutes after he found out, and he had to go coach a class afterwards. I'm sure he was bummed. I think it's awesome that he put on a brave face and went on with this day, but I really thought that we'd see Royce Dunn at least be like top 3. I am going to pull up another comment from Rod M here. Let me just get that on the screen for all of you. He's bringing up something that we had talked about briefly before. No Sarah, bummed for Sprague and Christophel. Happy for Tim's beast mode and Ariel. Yeah, Tim and Ariel surprised me, but did awesome. I could not be happier for how they both finished. And Tim Paulson, I knew he could do really well. Ariel Logan, I'd kind of written off. So I am impressed, not written off. I mentioned at the end of my live stream that she had a chance, but I just thought that she could be one of those one-year games athletes. And she proved me wrong. And she did really well here, left no doubt, won 3 events. Awesome for Ariel. You can actually watch some of her workouts. Some of her workouts are posted on CrossFit Games website right now. So if you want to go check those out, she did really well. I mentioned this before earlier in the stream, but for people that have just joined more recently, I think that she is a much better athlete than last year because she is training like a games athlete. Last year, she went to Granite Games just for fun and happened to win, which is crazy, but she was going for fun. She was doing the daily class. Now she's training more like a games athlete. Her mentality is starting to become that of a games athlete. So I'm not surprised about her doing better. And I think that she's a better athlete. But I also thought the competition was better, so I thought maybe she'd have a chance. But she proved me wrong. She did well at the games last year, and I think she has the potential to be top 10 this year. So we shall see. But no, Sarah, I talked a little bit about that. Sarah, I don't think that she's 100% yet. She may feel better, but it takes time to rebuild that strength and to get to the place you were before a major injury. So even if she feels 100%, I don't think she is 100%. And I did mention this earlier as well, but if you missed that part of the stream, I really hope she stays with Training Think Tank. She's had a history of jumping around, jumping from different training camps, jumping from different coaches. And I think she needs to stick with one person and one coach and one camp for an extended period of time. She hasn't done that. And I think Training Think Tank's a really great camp. There are some legit athletes there. They have multiple games qualifiers right now. They have Noah Olson. They have Travis Mayer, who's been at the games so many times. And Alexis Raptis has made the jump to the games. And I think she could do really well at the games as well. So I think there's some really good people there for Sarah to work with. And I know that she's from Iceland and maybe doesn't want to stay here in Augusta, Georgia, or Alpharetta, Georgia, where Training Think Tank is located. But I think it could really benefit her to stay there and work under that training camp longer. So Rod, maybe if she hangs out there this off season and keeps pushing it there and working with Max, I think she can do it again. I mean, she only finished 6th in her semifinal. That's close. I think that she can make it to the games again. I just think that she needs to stay focused and most importantly, stay healthy. So we shall see if she makes it in. I wanted to take a little look at the workouts from today. This clean and jerk shuttle run. Just speaking of Sarah, she killed this workout and came in 2nd. I thought she could win this workout. Sarah announced that she's moving to Proven soon. Is that Is that true? Is that on Instagram? Oh. I'm like, I did not see that. Thank you, Eric, for I really hope she doesn't move. She does not need to bounce around anymore. She's had enough coaches. I was about to look it up on Instagram to see if she had announced that. I hope not. But it was a little believable because she has moved around so much. But speaking of Sarah, she killed this workout, the clean and jerk shuttle run workout. Very impressed with her there. I thought she could do well at this, and she did. But I want to see more people do this workout. I haven't seen anyone do this workout just yet, so I hope I can find some posted because I think it's a good workout. And I think most people, if not everyone, finished this one. This last workout, I thought everyone would finish as well. And there's actually a couple people on the leaderboard who didn't finish this, including Sarah. Speaking of Sarah, did not finish this 50 burpee box jump overs, 75 double unders, 100 wall ball shots. So I'd love to see some people do this workout. I heard that like it got rough, and obviously games level athletes not finishing this workout shows you the challenge of this workout. You can see we have the 24th place finish, 375 reps, 23rd, 418. So yeah, quite a few people did not finish. Let's see how many people didn't finish this workout. 21st through 24th. Yeah. So we've got 4 people on the men's side who didn't finish the workout. And then let's see what the women's side looked like. Even more. Wow. Only the top 9 finished the workout. So more than half the field did not finish workout 4. I'll pull that up again so you can see it. The 50 burpee box jump overs, the 75 double unders, and the 100 wall ball shots. So I said I thought that people were going to finish this, and that's why there was a 20-minute time gap. But I was wrong. I was also wrong about who would qualify. So I think that's the fun of this, right? Like you look at it and you think one thing, and people either surprise you or maybe you overestimate the field a little bit. But the men, almost all of them did finish this workout. I think for the women, it probably is that 10-foot target. It's just farther to travel, and if you're not used to it as much, although I think that most women at this level should be working with a 10-foot target most days, and probably should work with a 20-pound ball as well, just to make these all a little bit easier. But this is a grueling workout, and it was really just like, how much do you want to suffer on this last workout? Do you want to win? Do you want to go to the games? Do you believe you can do it? And maybe some people just didn't. But I think this was a really good workout. And I think, look at this. This workout, the first and second place women were first and second overall. First, second, and Katrin was 4th, and she came in 3rd overall. So this last workout was a pretty good indicator of who would go to the CrossFit Games. I wonder if we see it on the men's side as well. We do not. It's not quite as good on the men's side. But on the women's side, the exact people who finished first and second in workout 4 finished first and second overall. So I enjoyed the Last Chance Qualifier. I think it's a pretty cool way to extend the season. I know there's some different opinions of whether we should stick with the Last Chance Qualifier or if we should do something different or just line up all the athletes to take the 2 that were closest to making to the games. But I think the Last Chance Qualifier gives us something exciting to look forward to at the end of the season when a lot of people are just bored waiting for the games. So I really enjoy it. I kind of hope it sticks around. And I think that we're learning a lot more about what workouts are best. I think this year was a little bit better than last year. That has nothing to do with who's programming, in my opinion. I think it is more of learning year to year and improving upon what we did the year before. So I like this test. I think we're getting the best athletes at the games. I think if you did well in this test, you could do well at the games. I think we could see top 10 finishers at the games from this Last Chance Qualifier. So, and there's some semifinals I can't say that about. There's some semifinals where I am not at all confident we'll see a top 10 finisher. So I think the Last Chance Qualifier is a legitimate way, the hardest way to qualify for the CrossFit Games is through the Last Chance Qualifier, 100%. So I think that these athletes can do very well, and I'm excited to see what they all do in the future. and what do they all do at the games? And we are just over a month from the CrossFit Games. I will be there. I hope to have content from there. So make sure you subscribe and hang out so that you can see some of that content. And I have some other videos coming out. I have a vlog, I believe, coming out tomorrow, and a bunch of other things. There's a big event here in NorCal that I hope to have a vlog on too. So you're going to want to stay tuned for all of that. And I appreciate all of you that hung out with me today and all of you that came over here from Hiller. You guys are all awesome. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.